At least 25 to 27 people have been killed after gunmen launched coordinated attacks on communities in Adamawa State, northeast Nigeria. The attackers struck Kijinga in Madagali local government area and Garaha in neighboring Hong. These villages sit on the edge of the dreaded Sambisa forest, a known stronghold of Boko Haram and Islamic West African State Province, ISWAP, and once again blood has been spilled. According to the village head of Kijinga, the gunmen arrived dressed in military uniforms. Residents initially believed they were soldiers on patrol. That deception proved deadly. Within minutes, the attackers opened fire. 18 bodies were later recovered in Kijinga alone. In Garaga, the scene was just as devastating. Over 50 motorcycles reportedly stormed the village from multiple directions. The attackers didn't just target civilians, they also hit a nearby military base. 3 soldiers were killed. 4 residents fleeing for safety were shot dead. A school was burned. Homes were touched. Survivors fled to Mubi, the nearest major town. Fear now hangs heavy in the air. In a related attack, terrorists overran Shuari Sholi community in Madagali local government. Among the dead was the village head, Bademi Papka, reportedly a cousin of Adamawa State Governor Amadu Umaru Fintiri. Eyewitnesses describe how attackers rode in on motorcycles and opened fire on villagers gathered near the market square. People ran toward the mountains. Many did not make it. Military personnel were alerted, but according to the locals, they arrived after the attackers had already left. And that raises the difficult questions. Why do these attacks still happen with such coordination and boldness? Governor Amadu Umaru Fintiri condemned the killings as cowardly acts of terrorism and vowed not to allow terrorists to undermine efforts to restore peace and stability. Strong words. But for residents who have buried loved ones, words are not longer enough. This is not a new conflict. Nigeria's northeast has endured nearly 17 years of Islamist insurgency. Billions have been spent on military operations. Several offensives have been launched. Territorial gains have been announced in the past. Yet villages are still being attacked. Communities are still being burned. Families are still being displaced. The edge of Sambisa forest remains volatile. Boko Haram and ISWAP may have been weakened, but they are clearly not eliminated. While Adamawa was mourning, another disturbing incident unfolded in southwestern Nigeria, in our local government area of Ondo State. Suspected gunmen invaded a celestial church during an early morning service and abducted 6 worshippers. One victim has since been rescued. A suspected informant has been arrested. Security agencies say operations are ongoing, but again, the pattern is familiar. Churches, mosques, markets, villages, military bases, no place seems completely safe. What we are seeing is not isolated violence, it is persistent insecurity. From the northeast to the southwest, armed groups continue to exploit security gaps. Military bases are attacked, communities are overrun, civilians remain the most vulnerable. The real question is this: if terrorists can disguise themselves as soldiers, mobilize over 50 motorcycles, attack military installations, burn schools and homes, then Nigeria's security architecture still faces serious structural challenges. And as Nigerians are still trying to process the killings in Adamawa State, the bigger debate has once again returned to the national stage. How do we actually stop this? Because after 17 years of insurgency, after repeated military operations, after countless condemnations, villages are still being attacked, soldiers are still being killed, communities are still fleeing. It is against this backdrop that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has renewed his call for the creation of state police. The president has reportedly engaged the Senate. urging lawmakers to fast-track the constitutional process that will allow states to establish their own police forces. Right now, policing in Nigeria is centrally controlled by the Nigerian Police Force under the 1999 constitutions. Governors are called chief security officers of their state, but in reality, they do not control the police operationally. And this is where the argument for state police becomes critical. A lot of supporters say if Adamawa had a locally controlled police structure, if rural intelligence networks were stronger, if response times were shorter, perhaps the scale of these attacks could have been reduced. Tinubu's position appears to be that Nigeria's insecurity challenges, from insurgency in the northeast to banditry and kidnapping across other regions, require decentralization. A security system closer to the people, more local accountability, faster tactical response. But the proposal is not without controversy. Critics warn that state police could be weaponized by governors against political opponents. Others fear uneven funding could create stronger forces in wealthier states and weaker ones elsewhere. So the debate is no longer just about Adamawa State. It is about structure, it is about reform, it is about whether Nigeria's current security architecture is fit for purpose. Because if terrorists can storm villages on over 50 motorcycles, disguise themselves as soldiers, attack military bases and disappear before reinforcement arrive, then clearly something is not working. And beyond the internal debate about state police, there's another layer to this security crisis: the international involvement. In recent months, the United States has deployed military personnel to Nigeria, not for combat operations, but to train and support the Nigerian Armed Forces in counter-terrorism efforts. The training cooperation between the Nigerian military and the United States Army has focused on intelligence sharing, tactical coordination, counter-insurgency strategy, and strengthening operational capacity against extremist groups like Boko Haram and Islamic State's West African province (ISWAP). The US has also provided equipment, surveillance support, and specialized training under broader security partnership between Nigeria and the United States Department of Defense. But here is the key point: despite months of this training, collaboration, and military offensive, attacks like this one in Adamawa are still happening, which raises more difficult questions. Is the issue training? Is it equipment? Is it intelligence coordination? Or is it deeper structural and governance challenges? Because military strength alone does not end insurgency. Counter-terrorism is not just about firepower, it is about community trust, intelligence networks, rapid response systems, and sustained political will. The presence of the US trainer shows that Nigeria's fight against terrorism is not isolated. It has international backing. But backing alone does not equal victory. And so, whether it is state police reform, federal military restructuring, or international military cooperation, the ultimate test remains the same. Can ordinary Nigerians in places like Madagali, Garaha, and Shuwari sleep safely at night? Until that answer becomes yes, the conversation about security reform will continue. The people of Adamawa State are once again living in fear. Families are displaced, children are traumatized, communities are grieving. The governor has condemned the attacks. Security agencies say operations are ongoing, investigations continue, but Nigerians are asking a deeper question. After 17 years of insurgency, why does this keep happening? Until rural intelligence improves, response time shorten, and security presence becomes truly proactive rather than reactive, these cycles of violence may persist. And that is the uncomfortable truth. What do you make of this story? Please comment, like, and share this video. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. This is Impact Media. Thank you for listening. I will see you again in the next video. Bye for now.